We're joined by Eric Mandel. He's the founder and director of the Middle East Political Information Network. He's also the senior editor for security of the Jerusalem Report. Good to have you with us, Eric. Thank you very much for joining us. So it looks as though President Trump will once again be headed to Saudi Arabia, and he's made no secret of it in the past. He is very encouraged by the sheer staggering amount of money that Saudi Arabia is willing to invest in the United States. The UAE is doing something similar, talking about $1.3 trillion investment in the US. I mean, do you think these Gulf states are trying to peel America away from Qatar, which is also putting up a lot of money?
The administration seems to have a little bit of a love affair, both with MBS and the Saudis, but also with the Qataris. The Qataris are much more problematic. I was listening to Giddy and Yaakov Lapin earlier talking about the problems with Qatar, and the administration should eventually come to the point where it has to realize that Qatar can't be just a frenemy, it needs to move over. Now, the Saudis and the Qataris do not like one another, and I think we should put ourselves for the time being with the Saudis. So why are the Saudis better than the Qataris? We think we share common interests with them. We believe that they can help us more with regional stability, with security, counterterrorism, diplomacy. And the Saudis are looking to elevate themselves. Besides diversifying financially, they are looking to be more prominent in U.S. foreign policy. What they ultimately want is a defense pact with the United States. They want a nuclear program, a civilian nuclear program, maybe to enrich like the Iranians do, another arch enemy of theirs. And they want to buy the most sophisticated American weapons, which gets us back to that $1 trillion. It needs to be scrutinized. Is this because we are now going to be selling them weapons that the last administration wouldn't sell them? Would they have done this on their own regardless? So we shouldn't just take it at face value, but it does sound, President is a transactional president and he wants monies to be invested in the United States. So there's multiple layers here, financial security, and Ukraine comes in and Israel comes in. So it is a complex situation that really needs to be handled very smartly from an American national security point of view.
Right, and of course the Qataris have said they will never normalize ties and have relations with Israel, whereas of course the Saudis have been talking about it for years, and we nearly got there, didn't we, right before the October 7th attacks. But the Saudis do want something in return from Israel. They want some sort of commitment to a Palestinian state further down the road. Do you think that Trump will be able to get around that this time, or are we going to see something happen?
Well, I don't believe the Saudis ever really wanted a Palestinian state. I think they were talking to their street. I remember right after October talking with the Saudi embassy in Washington of how surprised, how, if you will, radicalized the Saudi population was regarding the Palestinian issue. There was in, I think, December of 2023, a Washington Institute poll that said 96% of the Saudis that were polled wanted to cut all ties with Israel, and there shouldn't be any ties. So there is a very anti-Israel bias in Saudi Arabia. So I think the president would change the expectations, but the Israeli coalition at this point won't even give gestures towards Palestinian autonomy. Of course, not a Palestinian state. In fact, the Israeli people are really in no mood for that. In living still with active wars in the post-October 7th environment.
How is President Trump's very aggressive policy regarding the Houthis in Yemen and their backers in Iran? Are they nervous about that, or do they want Trump to continue?
Well, the Saudis were trying very hard to suppress the Houthis and failed. The UAE was the first to drop out of that coalition, and then the Saudis dropped out. And so I think the Saudis very much want America to take down the Houthis. The problem is it's a profound American mistake. The president should follow up on his words, stop hitting the Houthis, and the address, if you want the Houthis to suppress their fire and closing the straits by Bab el-Mandeb and other places where hydrocarbons go through, is Tehran. That's really where you have to do something. So I think that is a point, and that obviously ties into Iran, nuclear, and the Iranians and the Saudis are no friends. The Saudis still are most fearful of the Iranians. And if they go nuclear, then the whole region's going to go nuclear. So, one thing ties into the other. The Houthis, the address is Tehran. For Saudi Arabia, they want to be close with America to protect them against Iran. Houthis are a secondary issue, but for Saudi Arabia, because they know it's Iran also.
Eric, great to talk to you as always. Thank you very much indeed. Eric Mandel there.